No matter what, people will commit to misunderstanding you. What's most important is your commitment to understanding yourself. Hello, you guys. My name is Nkira Madani, known as NK, and welcome back to Misunderstood. Coming to you live from the CoverGirl studio. This is my first recording in the CoverGirl studio in 2026, and I'm so happy to be back. As you guys know, love the team. They're always so sweet. Every single time I walk into this building, mind you, we are in the Empire State Building. Every single time I walk in, I am gifted some product. And today I'm talking to you guys about the Clean Fresh Yummy Plumper Gloss. So I have the minis of this, but I do not have this specific color. This color is Beach Hill My Heart, and I am gonna put it on for you guys on camera. Okay, there's also a mintiness, which is, of course, the plumper. I don't need plumping, but it smells really good, and I like the light pink tint it just gave my lips. Today, we are talking about why this new year will be your best year yet. As I mentioned in last episode, we are doing a New Year's series. I think January is the perfect time to really go for our goals. Yes, we can go for our goals at any point in time of the year, but January, we all have this sense of wanting to improve ourselves to some degree. And over here on Misunderstood, it is very important to me to really evoke that mindset in my episodes. So if you also believe that this new year will be your best year yet, if you just have this feeling and this inkling that this year will be better than the last year, but also you'll reach so many different milestones this year and just grow within yourself, if you believe that wholeheartedly, you are absolutely in the right place, because I want to give you guys some tangible steps to success. These are things that I am practicing this year to truly make it my best year yet. But before we get started, take some time to rate Misunderstood, this podcast, 5 stars. You guys know I love coming to you guys once a week. Outside of this being a passion project, I believe it is now the most exciting and happy part of my job to really share my heart, share stories that really matter to me, but also help so many other people in this pursuit. So if you have not already, take some time right now to rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify, as well as follow the show so that you do not miss any of our future episodes. And also don't forget to binge the episodes. We have 54 episodes live of this podcast, you guys. There is so much content to consume. And of course, I'm here for you guys always. Go back and listen to old episodes and get re-inspired. All right, now let us get into this topic. We are talking about 8 tangible steps for success to make this year your best year yet. A little backstory, I made a mini series on TikTok about these 8 items, and a lot of people really enjoyed those mini videos. So I thought, let me collect all of what I said and bring it to the podcast to really deconstruct all of the tangible ways I think that you can absolutely make this your best year yet. Some of these might surprise you. Some of these might be very obvious. And of course, as always, take what serves you, leave what doesn't. Let's begin. Number 1, rest and reflection. There will be so many times in your life that you want to go at 1000% speed simply because you feel like the world is also going at 1000% speed. I can speak to this very personally with me even moving to New York 3 years ago. Coming from California where things are a lot more relaxed, I didn't feel this need to go so fast all the time. But I'll be honest, moving to New York, it really put me in a really interesting predicament where I felt like I had to never slow down. And I thought that slowing down meant that I wasn't cutting it, which is the exact opposite, because rest gives you strength to be able to actually take a step back from the things that are overwhelming your life. That is how you can actually think very clearly. And with that extra time to think, you can, of course, reflect. You should be reflecting on all the things that the prior year did not give you. You should be reflecting on how you actually want to pivot in this new year. And I want to be very, very clear that reflection is an independent activity. This is something that you need to do on your own time by yourself, whether you want to write it in a journal or if you want to record voice notes and listen to them back and hear how you really think about your life and the things you want to improve. There are a ton of ways that you can do really active reflection reflection that are really intentional and also very lasting for your progress. Number 2, detach from everything. This one hits home very deeply because I care a lot about a lot of things. I care about family. I care about my friends. I care about how well this podcast does. I care about my creative endeavors. I care about every single thing I touch. Here's the thing. It is a beautiful thing to care, and it is a beautiful thing to really lean into the things you do. However, it can also break you. It can break you when you care a little too much and you are not able to take a step back and be able to pivot to something else because you are so hell-bent on how certain things are doing, certain people are doing. A very personal example with my YouTube journey, I pour so much love and care into each and every video. Most people don't know that I spend upwards of 11, 12 hours with every single video, minimum. You might be thinking, wow, that really means that she cares so deeply about the product that she's putting out into the world. You are correct. However, when the video finally makes its way onto YouTube, I click post, it is live. I physically get nauseous seeing how the video is performing. Even if a video actually does very, very well later on, I am so stressed out about the day I post. I just am. I always have been. I need to not do that anymore. I need to detach from the outcome. I need to detach from thinking that my piece of work is bad just because the algorithm didn't prioritize it that given day. It's about me. It is about what I'm putting into the world. And yes, I'm obviously putting things into the world for myself first and foremost, but obviously I want things to do well. There's nothing wrong with that. That is a very normal thing to do when I'm posting something in a public space. However, if I don't detach from the outcome, I will not be able to pivot and make another video and do another project. I will be so stuck with how one outcome may or may not do that I cannot actually be the person who I want to be. And then I'm really stuck in a negative loophole. We're getting rid of that. One thing I have done to rectify that is to always hang out with my friends on Sunday. I post on Sundays, have a friend group that we literally have a standing Sundays. We've done this since September where we have hung out pretty much every single Sunday unless I was sick or something, but we have hung out every single Sunday for months. And no, I didn't tell them this. Not that it's a secret, but it's just a way for me to quite literally detach from how the video does that day. When I'm out with my friends, I'm not on my phone and I'm being social and I'm being immersed in where I am rather than the online world. Honestly, that is not the be all and end all of my life. It is very important to me. I have a very safe space in my online presence. However, that is not the be all and end all of my life. And therefore, I must detach from that. You can take that same scenario and that same thinking and apply it to family, friends, boys, whoever. You can take that same logic and detach from the things that are stressing you out, the things that you are so hell-bent on controlling. And I think that's where it stems from. We have to release control of what we want something to be and just let it be. Way easier said than done. However, if you're actually putting true practices in place, you will finally start to detach from everything. And when you detach from everything, the world is catered to you. Number 3, set boundaries. You guys know boundaries are very, very important to me. Definitely a pillar here on Misunderstood. Boundaries keep you safe. Boundaries are for you, not for anyone else. If anybody in your life is mad or frustrated or upset that you have created a boundary, that just means that they did not respect you enough to respect your boundary. I have seen this in my life so many times with family not respecting my boundaries, with past friends not respecting my boundaries, with work not respecting my boundaries. Boundaries are there to keep you safe. Boundaries show you that you have self-respect. People who do not have boundaries do not have self-respect. I know that sounds a little harsh, but when you think about it, a person who is very in tune with themselves, very self-assured, but also takes care of themselves, they have boundaries. They are able to assess what is good in their life and what needs to go. I have been through a lot of situations where I have had to set really hard boundaries that at first made me feel uncomfortable, but once I set them and I stood on my boundaries, my life felt a lot more peaceful. And if your boundaries allow you more peace, that is a boundary that you were supposed to have all along. And number 4, you'll be misunderstood. Of course, we're bringing it back to why this podcast is called what it is. This is coming from a girl who has been misunderstood all her life, who has been bullied, who has been made to feel small, who has shrunk herself to make other people feel more comfortable. And the thing about being misunderstood is you can do one of 2 things. You can try your best to make that other person who is misunderstanding you see it your way, or you can just be content with being misunderstood. Why? Is because you know yourself and no one can tell you who you are. No one. Quite literally no one. Are they in your body? Are they in your mind? Do they know your thoughts? Do they see you every day? No, 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 no. So how the hell can we let someone else dictate who we are? No. But the statement of you'll be misunderstood is honestly to give us our power back. Because no matter what anyone thinks of us, the final say on who we are is us. Anyone can say anything they want. That doesn't mean it's fact. It's actually not fact. The only fact is how you perceive yourself, who you know yourself to be. No one can change that. They can run with their own narratives. They can try to spew hate on your name. I'm not going to act like those things aren't hurtful. They are. Absolutely. But if you're so grounded in yourself, you will quite literally not give a shit about being misunderstood. And that has been a really tough lesson to learn as an adult because, like I said, I grew up being misunderstood. I am very, very, very familiar with the feeling of being misunderstood. But I had to decide, who am I? And once I decided that, no one was going to tell me differently. I don't give a shit what you think about who I am. Because the person who has the very last say in who I am is me. And knowing that in your heart gives you confidence. And with that confidence, you're able to go really forthright into the world and be the person who you are and really elevate and have an amazing year and beyond. Number 5, prioritize movement. Movement is extremely important to me. It always has been. I realize how many things are interlinked to movement. In my life, bodily, emotionally, mentally, so many things are linked. And once I fully grasped the impact of movement, I started to always say it is a priority. And for people who don't prioritize movement, I want to ask you this. What exactly is stopping you from prioritizing movement? And when I say prioritizing movement, it simply just means to integrate it into your daily life. We all can integrate some type of movement into our daily life. This is outside of anybody who is obviously hurt, but movement is such a privilege, of course. And if you have the opportunity, you should definitely take it. You should find ways to move that make you feel good and that make sense to you. When I used to go to the gym a lot more than I do now, I would talk to a lot of people about how their journey was with movement. My journey has honestly been very rocky with movement. As an adult, as a kid, I was a multi-sport athlete. I have been an active person for the majority of my life. But as an adult, I would say it's been pretty rocky. I have loved a lot of different types of movement. I've absolutely hated a lot of different types of movement. And I needed to figure out for myself what works for me, because what works for me is not going to work for everyone else and vice versa. And I landed on walking and strength training. Those are the 2 types of movements that I know that I can do consistently and feel really good about it and never feel like I'm bored, but also they feel fruitful for my body. There are other forms of movement that I do love, but I just don't do them super regularly, like Pilates, boxing from time to time. It was really important for me to figure out what types of movements I can do consistently that will keep me really motivated and really happy. When I'm walking, I am walking for about an hour. I do 30 minutes one way, 30 minutes back. I'm bundled up. I have a really cute set on. I have a jacket because right now it is pretty cold. I have my AirPods on. I'm listening to something really motivational, either music or a podcast, and I'm taking really deep breaths. I'm getting my fresh air and I'm letting the air hit my skin, and something about it, it is just the deepest form of serotonin for me. It makes me feel so good. And bonus, if it is sunny outside, letting that sun hit your skin and getting natural vitamin D is next to none. And with strength training, I've found how pivotal strength training has been for my body specifically. And I think this does come from the fact that I had a very athletic background as a kid, but strength training tones my body extremely fast. I can do strength training for probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, and actually see a physical difference in my body. And why I'm sharing all this is because you will go through stages with movement. You will find things that you absolutely love, and you'll find things that you probably will never want to do again. For me, I do not like cycling. I'm sorry if anybody's listening to this and they love cycling. I don't like it. It's just not the movement that works for my body, and I feel very bored, and I just don't like the act of cycling. So I stay away from it. The things you love doing, you will find that they become easy to do because you enjoy them, because you have a gravitational pull toward them, and it'll make your journey with movement a lot more uplifting and fruitful. There is such a mind-body connection with movement that is really cool to see in real time. Every single time I finish a workout or a long walk, I come home and I'm honestly smiling without even thinking about it. I just feel a pep in my step, and I feel lighter, and I feel more calm, and I'm able to approach situations so much more clear than if I didn't move that day. And I've seen this in practice. It's the only reason why I'm able to say it with certainty. Movement has really, really impacted my life for the better. It's made me a more rational person. It's allowed me to be more calm and be more positive overall. So absolutely, please, 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 if you don't do anything else, please just find a movement that works for you, stick to it, build a routine, and your life will feel just so much more happier. I can promise you that. Number 6, be the mirror. There's a lot of times in life you will be met with people and situations that aren't so nice, aren't so great. And this is why I say be the mirror. And be the mirror to me means if someone is giving you a specific energy, reflect it back to them. Literally hold a mirror up to them. Be the mirror. Over here on Misunderstood, we do not tolerate disrespect. I have learned to stand up for myself in a lot of ways because I needed to. But in a lot of day-to-day situations, I have found some transgressions between people to just be very unpleasant. There's a lot of unpleasantries that you will face, and you need to decide pretty quickly if you want to just completely address them or not. But if you decide to address them, be the mirror. I believe wholeheartedly that people know what they're doing. People know how they're treating other people, and they do it anyway. So if they do it anyway, throw it right back to them. There was a girl who I met mid-year of 2025, and it was in a group setting. I got along pretty decently with everybody except for her. She did a few things that if you didn't really focus in on it, you probably wouldn't notice, but so many things felt very intentionally rude and mean towards me, specifically, out of everybody, towards me. It happened enough times. It happened actually so many times that I just kept on clocking certain things, and then I started being the mirror. I started treating her exactly like she treated me. Long story short, I removed her from my following. She is completely in my past. I will not think twice about her ever again. Those types of people are dangerous. They're dangerous because they know exactly what they're doing, and they're doing it anyway, and they're doing it because they believe they can. If you don't have some pushback, they'll just keep on doing it. And I'm happy that I just threw back what she was serving me. And ultimately, I knew that it would fizzle out and come to an end. And I would honestly just probably end it by removing her from my sphere. I just feel so much lighter about that. I think it's important to call people out in a lot of ways. Don't let yourself be disrespected. Number 7, ask for help. This is coming from a girl who literally is one of the most hyper independent people ever. Probably. I take on a lot of things on my own, and I have a lot of silent battles that I just don't tell people because I simply don't want to burden other people, and that is actually where it stems from. I feel like I'm a burden in a lot of ways, and I'm not, and I know that, but my silly little brain sometimes thinks that I am. Therefore, I don't ask for help. I pile on so much stress in my life for no reason. I'm left with feeling very overwhelmed when I just could have asked for help, solicited advice and resources from other people who are willing and able to help, to make my life easier. This can be emotionally, but this can also be with work. I find that I do this a lot with work. I take on so many projects that I don't need to. There's so many things that in my creative career, I don't need to just do it so that I'm not bothering other people, where I could just hire people who can do those tasks, some really low level administrative things, so that I don't feel like the world is all on my shoulders and I'm sinking. There's so many ways that asking for help honestly will make your life better. You can then actually enjoy your life rather than spending half of the time stressing out. And number 8, fight the war, not the battles. There will be a lot of things in your life that will inconvenience you, intentionally, unintentionally. There will be a lot of things that are simply annoying in your life, and you will come to a crossroads where you feel like addressing every single thing, but you have to pick your battles. Not everything is worth your energy or your time. There's so many things that you need to just let go, which makes you the bigger person by just letting them go. I think it also shows a lot of growth in yourself, being able to let things go. This is really hard for me. I have been upset, sometimes irrationally, about a lot of things that honestly, looking back right now, did not deserve the drama I brought into the situation, did not deserve me making it such a big deal when right now, I think back, there are things that truly didn't matter, but I made it a big deal for what? Why? There are things, though, that you will need to fight for and you will need to address head on. There will be big things, and that is the war. But there will be many battles in your day-to-day that are simply inconvenient, but that doesn't mean that you need to pay any mind to. When you focus on only the big things and realize that life will give you a lot of little inconveniences, you rise above it all. One of my favorite quotes that was on my vision board last year was, "A girl who's going to do big things cannot let small things get to her." That is essentially what I'm saying. If you simply focus all your energy and fight the war, fight the big things in your life, really attend to those, these little battles won't even be a blimp on your radar. And then you can actually, once again, enjoy your life. So I hope any and all of these 8 steps to success really landed with you guys. These are items that I've taken stock in my life and decided that I want to really focus on these things because these have been true pain points in my life. By really focusing in on them and actually wanting to improve, they have improved in my life. And once again, this year is truly just started. We are at the beginning. You literally have so much time to make this your best year ever. And with that, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Misunderstood. Remember to rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify and follow it wherever you are listening. Join our Geneva group chat. It is always linked in the description of every single podcast episode. Feel free to leave a question or ask for advice on our jot form, always linked in the description of every single podcast episode. Hang out with me on my other socials, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest at NK Madani, and I will talk to you guys in my next one.